American muscle cars are exceedingly hard to find and are a good investment if you are the kind of car enthusiast who likes to take on a difficult task while engaging in an exciting journey that is packed with a powerfully furious motor. Due to the fact that these vehicles were produced in such low quantities, it is quite likely that you have never heard of them. Therefore, let's dive into the video to get to know all of them. Below are the rarest and fastest American muscle cars that have ever been manufactured, starting with the original generation of the Ford Mustang. Number 6. The Plymouth Hemi Superbird. One of the automobiles that made it onto the list is the 1970 Plymouth Hemi Superbird, which was only manufactured 135 times in total. Plymouth had a lot of success with their Roadrunner series, so in 1970 they decided to come out with a different version to fulfill the growing desire for sports cars and muscle cars. This new model was called the Plymouth Roadrunner GTX. Plymouth automakers transformed the Hemi Superbird into a race car, but the vehicle was never entered in a race. The Hemi Superbird is an attractive car that Plymouth outfitted with a high-mounted wing-like spoiler. A 426 cubic inch Hemi engine was also installed inside the car, hence the name. The car is made with high-performance parts from Mopar, and Plymouth automakers also converted the Hemi Superbird into a race car. Fans of muscle cars are familiar with it, since it has a horn that imitates the sound of the Roadrunner from the Looney Tunes cartoons. The 1969 Dodge Charger came in a respectable second place overall. Number 5. Camaro ZL1. The Chevrolet Camaro CL1, of which only 69 were produced, was based on the Corvette L88. However, it incorporated components from older Corvettes and made them more potent than they were in the L88. Although it weighs only 500 pounds and is made of aluminum rather than sheet metal, the engine is capable of producing 560 horsepower despite its low weight. This is an interesting feature of the engine. Number 4. Ford Fairlane. The next vehicle in our collection is a 1967 Ford Fairlane 500R Code, which is unique in that it is one of only 57 total units ever manufactured. Fairlane was the brand name under which Ford manufactured full-size automobiles right up until 1962. The Fairlane was redesigned by a total of 4 different designers before it was transformed into the 500. The 500 is more in the manner of the muscle cars that were popular during that era, and as a result, it served as the base for both the Ford Torino and the Cobra lines of automobiles. 1967 was the first year that the car with the R designation was manufactured. The letter R was intended to be a reference to the dual-quad carburetors that were on the market at the time. The overall output of the 500R model was 425 horsepower. Number 3. Plymouth GTX. Next up is the 1967 Plymouth R023 GTX, which was only manufactured in a total of 55 cars throughout its whole production run. In spite of the fact that the Roadrunner is almost certainly the most well-known Plymouth muscle car, the GTX was even more uncommon and arguably of higher quality. Even though it had a Hemi engine with 426 cubic inches of displacement, it was still around 500 pounds lighter than this base model. By removing the rear seat, as well as the rear glass, the weight of the car was reduced significantly. Components such as hubcaps, radios, heaters, insulation for the body, and carpets, among other things, are included in this category. This was a car that would revolutionize the world. For example, it could move from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4.8 seconds, which is astounding even by today's standards. In 1967, Plymouth increased the opening in the hood so that more air could flow through. This was a car that would revolutionize the world. Number 2. The Plymouth Hemi Cuda Convertible. The Plymouth Hemi Cuda Convertible, which was manufactured during the years 1970 and 1971, and of which there were a total of just 21 units constructed. Why does Plymouth only produce a limited quantity of muscle vehicles overall? And why is this particular Hemi Cuda the only one of its kind? due to the fact that it was available with 5 distinct engine configurations ranging from 340 to 440 cubic inches. This is likely to be one of the most valuable and collectible antique automobiles ever made. Throughout its entire existence, Plymouth only manufactured a total of 21 of these automobiles. Number 1. 1967 Shelby Mustang. Shelby Mustang GT 500 Super Snake. Super Snake. This particular 1967 Mustang by Carroll Shelby is without a doubt the most beautiful example of the legendary pony car that has ever been manufactured. The legendary Ford GT40 Mk2 that competed at the 24 Hours of Le Mans was powered by the same type of V8 engine that was used in the 1967 Shelby Mustang GT 500 Super Snake. Shelby drove the vehicle for a total of 500 miles at an average speed of 142 miles per hour in order to validate his hypothesis that the V8 engine would not cause the tires to explode. The hypothesis was validated, and the project was a success. Not only was the Shelby Mustang GT 500 Super Snake extremely uncommon, but it was also a one-of-a-kind model. The fact that everything began beneath the hood is one of the coolest things about it. Ford made the decision not to move forward with the project because it would cost too much money. As a direct consequence of this, the manufacturer only constructed a single automobile that had the potential to achieve top speeds of 170 miles per hour. It was subsequently sold at a Mecum auction in 2019 for a price of $2.2 million, making it the car that holds the record for the most expensive vehicle ever sold at auction. The Mustang was the first modern car to be produced in the United States, as far as we are aware, and it was the name of that car. Because muscle cars are such an integral part of American culture regarding engines and automobiles, the phrase muscle car has even evolved into a verb in recent years. If you are able to track one of these vehicles down, though, the search will have been well worth the effort. That's it for today. Please like and share our videos. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for regular updates.